Nice to see you today, my friend. Nice to see you.
Good
Okay.
to be seen. Good to see you, Tony.
Now, the coolest thing about this is I'm usually on your video or your podcast, and now I get to ask you questions. Listen, and these are going to be tough questions, okay?
Oh, good. Bring it on, man.
I
Bring
want
it
to
on.
I want to make sure to, just be candid right up front. Listen, you grilled
Yes.
me and now it's my time to grill you. Anyway, just to kind of get us started here. Yeah, by the way, how did we meet? I usually like to say, how we met and stuff like that, but was it through HDI? Was it through?
It was through HDI. You had sort of checked out from the events in the industry for a little while. You kind of went away and
That's
took
right.
care of yourself. And when you came back, it was like, where have you been this whole time? Like
Yeah.
I've been going to conferences for close to 15 years now, and I think we met 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like, oh,
Right.
finally,
Right.
someone who can be vulnerable and challenge stuff. And really, the thing that I really value about you, Tony, is that you share what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's an important thing. By the way, I equally feel that, Matt, as we work together. You share what you know, and I agree with you. There were two things I think you and I talked about. One is, of course, being vulnerable. I think that's so important, right? Not to just be the top of everything, but hey,
Yeah.
I can learn too. But the other thing is to be authentic, right? Because it's easy to just speak and share, but to be authentic to what you're sharing, and I practice this in my daily life, I think, gives additional attributes as
Big time.
so.
Yes. That's what it's
No.
all about.
Absolutely. Well, nice to know you. Thank you for joining today. By the way, audience, this is Tech Talk Tony. We're going to meet people just like Matt Beran here today and others on topics. Today's topic is on experience management. And at the very top here, you'll notice there's a QR code. If you want to see Tech Talk Tony and subscribe, you can use your phone and just subscribe. Okay, now that we're done with the commercial, let's grill you, man. Let's get down to it. Okay. So I say let's just go right into the first question. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, let's just do it.
Okay.
So, what is good experience, and how do you design a good experience when we talk about experience management?
Yes. It's such a good question. And I think a lot of people, that's where they start. They want to build something good. I want to build a good experience. And I was having a conversation with someone about this morning about how contextual and personal a good experience can be. And
Right.
and us as service providers, we've got a challenge in that not only do we have these technical teams who are phenomenal at building systems,
Right.
but we finally are coming to the age now where IT departments, technology departments, and other departments are starting to realize the humanness of work. They're starting to realize that there is emotional attributes to these complex systems that we design and deliver and use every day.
That's
And
right.
so our challenge, I believe, as an industry is to not only not only understand our people, right? Do user research, understand the people you serve, understand your customers,
Right.
and get to know them very, very literal, very emotional. You almost want to be close to them,
Right.
but then also understand that they want to choose their own adventure. Not everyone wants to chat. Not everyone wants phone. Not everyone wants email. And so our challenge is really understanding the limitations of that. How can we understand our customers as best as we can without, you know, spending too much money to do the user research, right? Because you can't just blow all your money on user research. You got to
Darn
save
it.
some for development.
That's right.
And then once you get some insights, you can start to bucket these experiences, what people, what feedback they're giving, what desires they have, what they hear, see, and what they do. And you can put those into categories and deliver multiple methods of interacting with your services and your experiences. So I think that's really the big challenge is not only delivering a good experience in the eyes of your customer and of course, you have to incorporate the people providing the experience. The agents have to also have a good experience during the
Right.
delivery of a service.
Yeah.
Um, but then once you understand what that good experience is, giving them the options to choose between the different channels and the different details of that experience.
Right. I love
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Was that a good answer? What?
that's a great answer. And I think,
Okay.
and you're right, because there's a lot of technology and a lot of things that we do when we are working. And so whether it's technology or a process, we really do have to kind of think about all the different elements. Is this gonna be great for the customer? Is this going to be great for the agents? Is this going to be great for the executives? You know, where is the buy-in and at what level and does everybody benefit from this? And I think reviewing all of that enables you to have that great experience management.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you passed with flying colors.
Oh, good.
First question, but the next one is not going to be so easy. This is supposed to be like a Rocky match, okay? So you ducked and weaved. Okay, here we go. Question number two. Yeah, I see you're good at this. Like, by the way, I'm excited to see you here in Vegas. Where are we going? Where are we
We're
going?
going to the Bellagio. We're going to Pink 2024. It's Star Wars themed. So if you're a nerd like I am, you're going to love it.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I'll bring my lightsaber. I got it in my back pocket over here, and I'm an experienced Star Wars fan. So, okay, well, I'll see you this weekend. Time for question number two. Okay, so how does this fit into my team? I mean, in this new way of thinking, how do we, crawl, walk, run? I have a tough time today with the words, but crawl, walk, run. How do we get there to have this type of ability in our environment?
Dude, yes. I love this. This is a good one because uh, I think even as an agent, when I was working on a service desk, as a service desk agent, I would do personal things
Right.
to make the experience better. And so this is already happening in your organization. Your agents, your service designers, and even your tier two, tier three teams, everyone in IT is already trying to deliver a good experience. So they're already doing this. And so I think like when I think about crawl, walk, run, which watch your enunciation there, Matt.
That's right.
The crawling, you may already be doing it. Yeah, certainly the people that talk to your customers every day are already doing it. They want to hear, they hear from Sally in accounting, you
Right.
know, I don't like this part, or I waited too long on hold, or Jerry over in sales, he's like, I can't get connected in the hospitals, and I can't, my computer's too slow. And so your agents and your service providers already know this information.
Right.
So I think the first step, the crawling, is really leveraging that information,
Hmm. Okay.
taking that feedback that you're already given, um, stopping any surveys that you're sending. I think sending surveys is a bad idea when it comes to especially internal IT support.
Right. Right.
And start taking some of the feedback that your customers are already volunteering to you and acting upon it. And that's really why I say stop surveys. I don't want to, I don't want people to just stop carte blanche just because I said it.
Right.
But
Right.
really, like there might be rewards or bonuses based on those surveys. So don't get rid of them completely.
That's right.
But realize that the survey doesn't always add as much value as just listening to the feedback that you're already getting naturally. And so that I think is the crawl. The walking is when you start doing real user research. You
Okay.
you you start to have these formal activities, whether they're brown bag lunches where you're just talking, maybe you get the finance team together and you buy them, well, they buy you a lunch of some kind. And then, they're talking about their financial management systems and they're talking about what it's like to send checks and receive POs and manage customers. And you start to understand who they are, what they do, and what they care about. And
Right.
that's why it's walking. Because once you have, and a lot of companies call this a voice of the customer program, where
Right.
you're really taking the time to listen to people and then bringing that feedback back to your teams to say like, look, these are the things that the finance team said. Every single one of them agreed on this point.
Mhm.
We need to turn off MFA for this system. No, no, that's a bad example. But we
That's
we
right.
need to integrate this system to this other system. That is one of those things where it's really clear, simple, and technical to deliver. But you just need to hear that stuff. And between walking and running, there's a huge gradient of maturity. So you can go from user research to just staying there. You just start up a voice of the customer program. You're listening to customers. That's great. You know, and then the maturity kind of grows from there. So, for example, maybe you've got your maybe you have dedicated people doing user research. That's the beginning. They're
Right.
out talking to finance. Well, eventually you want your developers, you want your system designers, you want the people tier 2, tier 3, the people building systems to also be doing those things. So your voice of the customer program starts with a one to many relationship where it's one person or a team of people that are talking to customers constantly and then feeding that feedback back to the people that care. And then eventually, as it matures, the people that care
Yeah.
become closer to the customers. And hopefully, they understand what those people are going through because the rest of experience management is really what we're already doing, you
Mm.
know, prototyping things, analyzing the business processes,
Right.
um, testing those prototypes, doing user testing, doing validation testing, regression testing. So we're doing a lot of that stuff already, but what we're missing in the run part of this
Yeah.
is having our customers on our projects, on our teams,
Right.
building the things with us, because that is the best way to ensure that they like it. It's
Right.
like a kid, uh, they might eat what you give them. You might
Mhm.
give them two options, do you want this meal or this meal? And both of them are meals that you want to provide. Um, but what if the child was cooking with you? What
Right.
if they were at the store? What if they were selecting the recipe? Of course they're going to love it more. They're the ones building it.
Right.
They
Right.
have this ownership and this pride, and really they would feel guilty not eating it, because they saw all the work that they put into it and you put into it. And maybe they provide feedback like, "Hey dad, I don't actually like pickle sandwiches. I'm
That's right.
sorry. I'm sorry that we made this." And then they learn as well, and you start building services together. That's where that co-creation of value really
Right.
is. That's where the gold is, man.
I love that. I love that. And that really gets us to the crawl, walk, run. The one thing I wanted to add, if it's okay, about the crawl and the run piece of it. One of the things that I found when you do surveys is, we get the good surveys, okay,
Mm,
numbers. We get the bad surveys, okay, numbers. But what we've done in the past is we've taken the bad surveys and we've called people.
hmm.
And when we've called and talked with people about the bad surveys, we come to find out that we may find a solution.
Yeah.
They giving advice may share something which triggers something in our mind, and then that enables us to be able to build something easily. And most importantly, like you said, like if I'm cooking with my dad, this is the same type of situation where, I get the immediate feedback, we build something, then we run and show it, and now the customer loves it because we actually took something that they helped us design. And so that co-buy-in, I really think is super valuable.